Hi, I'm David Leopold, and I'm here to give an update on the situation of Pastor Max. Pastor Max from Iowa City, Iowa, was deported almost a year ago today as a result of an operation which occurred, and he was picked up by ICE and sent back to Honduras after being in this country since the early 90s. The bottom line is that Max, the deportation of Max was a mistake. It was a mistake under the government's own immigration enforcement priorities, because even though Max did have a couple of blemishes on his record, a DUI namely in late 90s, he had led an exemplary life since then. He'd been a leader in his community. He had started a life with Gloria, his wife, and they have 4 beautiful United States citizen children. There was absolutely no reason to deport Pastor Max. And so today, what we did, myself, Gloria, David Bouchard from the Mennonite church, we went up to Capitol Hill with several others, and we gave a briefing on the Senate side and on the House side to let staff and members know exactly what went wrong here and how. Well, it's good that the Department of Homeland Security has issued immigration enforcement priorities, which are supposed to focus on the worst of the worst. It's not good that they're kind of using these priorities as a checklist and not looking at the individual who they're deporting. And so we wanted them to know that Max is a human being. Max is a family, has a family. And that really, this is a situation where Max ought to be brought back. There's a private bill that's pending. We wanted members to know that the private bill is out there, that they can join on as co-sponsors, and also to let them know that this is a situation where the community is really bounded together. Last year, when Max was locked up and just about to be deported, nearly 50,000 people came together across the country and signed a petition for him. Since then, there have been various, there's been a cohesive group that's worked hard on his return, and the hope is that Max will at some point return. The government made a mistake here. They've got to make it right, and the way to do that is to bring him back. We don't care how, whether it's by private bill, whether it's by a visa that he might qualify, or otherwise. They can make this right and bring Max home.
What can people do to help?
People can really let the government know, let the Department of Homeland Security know that they're outraged by the fact that this pastor would be yanked from his family. How can they do that? Well, they can call Homeland Security. They can certainly email. They can call ICE. Director Sarah Saldana really ought to know that we ought to be going after the worst of the worst, but that doesn't mean people like Max, Pastor Max, who have devoted himself to the community. So people can use their voices. People can write op-eds. People can write blogs. People can keep the awareness of this case out there so that the government knows that if they're going to put out priorities and say that they're going to go after the worst of the worst, then they ought to be doing that and not just sweeping up people in their operations that don't belong.